my very first 25 days of Christmas recap. I know it is now currently the 16th of December, so I am really behind on making this, but I got a late start this year because I found out Stan had every episode of Family Guy and I really wanted to watch it. But I don't know how I'm gonna go with these recaps, probably worse than my Halloween ones, which means probably going to be as bad as the ones I did last year, which I ended up deleting, so we'll see how I go. I don't know how many movies I'm going to end up getting done. I had a list of 50 movies to watch. I had to knock 2 off the list after Hallmark decided to go and be douchebags. Shouldn't say that word in a Christmas video, that's not a festive word, but we will, today I'm counting down the first 10 films that I watched in my 25 days of Christmas, so I guess I'll just get into it. Film number 1 is Beauty and the Beast, The Enchanted Christmas, a 1997 American direct-to-video animated Christmas musical fantasy film directed by Andy Knight and written by Flip Capigan, Cindy Marcus, Bill Motz, and Bob Roth. In it, astonished to find the Beast has a deep-seated hatred for the Christmas season, Belle endeavours to change his mind on the matter. I have to watch this film every Christmas. There is no way I can go in December without putting this on. Throughout the rest of the year, I listen to the soundtrack. This film is a Christmas staple for me. Its beautiful animation makes me feel festive and emotional. Its music gives me chills and also makes me emotional. Basically, this film makes me very emotional. I cry for most of it because it just makes me so happy and overwhelmed. The fact so many still don't know this film and that it has such a low rating is just depressing. How can you dislike some Disney Christmas spirit? It's great having a whole gang together and new characters. I couldn't ask for more. Number 2, Christmas Break-In, a 2018 family Christmas film directed by Michael Camper from a screenplay by Spanky Dustin Ward. The film follows Izzy, who is left alone at school when a blizzard hits her town. When she discovers 3 bumbling crooks have taken shelter in the seemingly empty school and taken the school custodian hostage, she decides it's up to her to save the day. The only disappointing thing about this film is that it feels like it could be the 6th Home Alone sequel. It takes a great deal of inspiration from the Home Alone films, with much of the dialogue, storylines, and plot elements coming directly from either Home Alone 1 or 2, so it doesn't exactly feel new or fresh, but it is still an alright Christmas movie. There were some mild chuckles and characters who learn life lessons during Christmas time, still making it a solid Christmas flick. Danny Glover was probably the best thing about this film. I'm sorry, my mother and my brother in the other room being very loud. But as I was saying, that Danny Glover was probably the best thing about this film. He definitely brought the Christmas feels in this film, and one of its best features is the gag reel at the end of the film, but I don't think a gag reel should be the highlight of a film. Not a terrific film, but still an enjoyable Christmas movie. Number 3, The Christmas Chronicles, a 2018 American Christmas film directed by Clay Kaitis with a screenplay by Matt Lieberman from a story by Lieberman and David Guggenheim. Siblings Kate and Teddy Pierce hatch a scheme to capture Santa Claus on Christmas Eve. When the plan goes awry, the kids join forces with a somewhat jolly Saint Nick and his loyal elves to save the holiday before it is too late. This is officially the single greatest modern day Christmas film I have ever seen, and I am so upset I didn't watch this last year. Had I watched it last year, I would have put it in my top 20. Second place, hell, I might have even pushed Avengers Infinity out of first place and put this in instead. I can't begin to describe how much fun and excitement I had with this film. I haven't experienced a Christmas film like this since I was a child. I felt like I recaptured my childhood when I still believed in Santa. I laughed, I cried for pretty much the entire film. Some sad tears, but mostly happy tears. So very many happy tears. I love that it keeps so many of the Santa traditional elements, but changes it up as well to make it different from other films about Santa. The reindeer are awesome, the elves are so cute and adorable, and Kurt Russell is now my favorite Santa Claus. Move over Tim Allen, Kurt Russell is the new Santa in town and here to stay because I plan on rewatching this every year. This has officially become a new Christmas staple. Just when I thought this film couldn't get any better, it floored me and left me unable to pick up my jaw when they revealed Goldie freaking Hawn as Mrs. Claus. That may be one of the greatest moments of my entire life. Seeing Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn playing Mr. and Mrs. Claus, I can't begin to tell you how over the moon happy that made me. I have always admired their relationship and being one of the few celebrity couples to stay together, and now seeing them like this just made my heart swell. I love this movie, the characters, the story, everything. Number 4, Christmas Inheritance, a 2017 American Christmas comedy drama film directed by Ernie Bavarish and written by Dina Eng. In it, to be the CEO, an heiress is challenged by her dad to deliver a Christmas letter in person to his ex-partner in their hometown, traveling by bus incognito with only $100. It's so strange watching someone you grew up watching on Australian soap operas now doing Christmas movies on Netflix. It's a surreal experience. Getting that useless fact out of the way, I really enjoyed this film. It's got all the right elements to make it a good Christmas movie. It's pleasant, grounding, wholesome, full of Christmas cheer, life lessons, and teaching the audience about growth, charity, and understanding and community. We had a couple of bumps here and there, so I wouldn't call it a perfect film, but I'd still call it a damn good Christmas movie that gets the job done. Add to the fact it made me cry, and if you're a Christmas movie that made me happy cry, then you have done your job well. Would be ideal for watching this with hot chocolate by a nice warm fire, but I'm in Australia, so that's not going to happen. Number 5, A Christmas Story, a 1983 American Christmas comedy film directed by Bob Clark and written by Gene Shepard, Lee Brown, and Bob Clark, based on Gene Shepard's semi-fictional anecdotes in his 1966 book, In God We Trust, All Others Pay Cash, with some elements from his 1971 book, Wanda Hickey's Night of Golden Memories, and Other Disasters. Set in the 1940s, it follows a young boy named Ralphie as he attempts to convince his parents, his teacher, and Santa that a Red Ryder BB gun really is the perfect Christmas gift. A Christmas Story is a film I've seen pop up for a very long time. Every year sites write articles about it being the greatest Christmas film of all time. Movies and TV shows reference it, people rewatch it and talk about it, and yet I've never seen it. This year I decided to change that, and in doing so discovered this was a film I could have lived without. I couldn't at any point during this film understand why it was so loved or why it is considered the greatest Christmas film of all time. I'm in no way saying it is wrong to feel that way. I always think it's amazing to see films that are beloved by so many and can stand the test of time, but this one just did not do it for me. It was the longest hour and 33 minutes of my life, and it never seemed to end. I found it hard to get into. The characters all seemed idiotic and annoying. The narrator did not at all feel necessary, and the fact it's the narrator's story, yet he's speaking in the present tense so much was weird. A lot of the film I found bizarre. It didn't move me, make me laugh or smile, as it did not feel festive at all. It felt like a big film about American commercialism, and in turn a film that targets an American audience. Being that I'm not American, that may be a factor as to why it didn't grab me. I don't hate this film, I just don't like it. Only moments I enjoyed was seeing the dad getting emotional when he sees his son unwrap his gun and the family eating delicious Peking duck at the end. That was it. Also, the lamp was ugly. Number 6, Christmas Wedding Planner, a 2017 Canadian drama romance film directed by Justin G. I'm so sorry, I don't know if his last name is Dick or Dyke. It's spelled D-Y-C-K, but you get where I'm going with this. With a screenplay by Keith Cooper based on Once Upon a Wedding by Stacey Connolly. In it, a wedding planner is in the midst of planning her cousin's lavish and exclusive wedding when a devilishly handsome private investigator turns her world upside down. It's a fairly pleasant film where everyone is smiling, and even when something goes bad, it's so sweetly done it could give you a cavity. That being said, I didn't feel strong Christmas vibes considering it is a Christmas wedding. The costume department did a terrible job with most of the characters in the story. It's just so unrealistic. Santa and his reindeer are more believable. Spoilers here, but the film ends with the bride calling off the wedding because she finds out her husband-to-be got his parents' maid pregnant and paid her off, and when his parents found out who the father of her child was, they sacked her. Bride is now brokenhearted, the wedding ruined, but her cousin who planned the wedding gets a happy ending due to the fact that even though the bride's ex-boyfriend revealed the truth, he's fallen for the wedding planner in a matter of days, declared his love, and so they don't waste a wedding, asks to marry her. Basically, the cousin gets the dream wedding while the now former bride smiles with delight for her cousin, and the mother of the former bride also beams with joy. No one is that nice or that happy, nor should they be in that situation. No one just gets over finding out their husband-to-be knocked up their maid. They don't just hand over their wedding to their cousin so she can marry their ex-boyfriend. This is just bizarre. It's wonderful that there's no hate or malice, but come on. In that context, hate, malice, and jealousy are very rational human emotions. This isn't Pleasantville. I did feel the chemistry between the characters was a bit all over the place. There were some good moments, but then there were some bad moments where it felt off and the performances weren't always great. The mother of the bride was an odd character. At first she's portrayed as this snob perfectionist who you feel is someone who just looks down on her niece, but when you realize she's actually her mother figure and loves and cares for her and wants her happy and treats her like a daughter, it was confusing because the two personas didn't connect well. But I was very happy to see that she wasn't this evil mother of the bride I thought she was. It's far from a perfect film, and this all sounds like complaining, but at the end of the day, I signed on for a film that I believed would be sweet and wholesome, and frankly, it was. Like I said, even the sordid stuff was done in a delicate way, which I didn't think was possible. As weird and not great as this film is, it's not terrible either, and overall was a decent and sweet watch. Number 7, Deck the Halls, a 2006 Christmas comedy film directed by John Weitzel and written by Arnon Milchan, Michael Costigan, and Weitzel. In it, two neighbors have it out after one of them decorates his house for the holidays so brightly that it can be seen from space. This film ticks all the festive boxes for me. The set design and work done to create the lights display makes me so envious it's insane. There is still the traditional Christmas movie plot of making mistakes and learning from them and coming together to celebrate the holiday, which I love. I always get emotional when the town comes together to help put the lights back up. That's such a lovely moment. Everything about this film still screams Christmas, and ultimately that is what you want in a Christmas movie. Some of the performances are stiff on Kristen Davis and Matthew Broderick's parts, but they have redeeming moments which makes them easy to overlook. I don't understand why this film has so much hate. How can so much festivity and pretty lights make people mad? Film number 8, Die Hard, a 1988 American action thriller film directed by John McTiernan from a screenplay by Jeb Stewart and Stephen R. D'Souza, based on Roderick Thorpe's 1979 novel Nothing Lasts Forever. The film follows off-duty New York Police Department officer John McClane, who is caught in a Los Angeles skyscraper during a heist led by a man named Hans Gruber. Die Hard will forever be a terrific movie for all occasions, especially thanks to performances by Bruce Willis and the late Alan Rickman, and if you don't think so, we cannot be friends. Now, reasons why Die Hard is a Christmas movie for me are the following. 1. Christmas song played in the film is a Christmas rap song. 2. Various characters sing and whistle Christmas carols during the course of the movie. 3. It takes place during a Christmas party on Christmas Eve. 4. The score, which was composed by Michael Kamen, consisted of well-placed alternate orchestra renditions of Christmas carols. 5. John McClane places a Santa hat on the first bad guy he kills, along with a very threatening and festive Christmas message. 6. Theo gives instructions to his teammates through his own version of 'Twas the Night Before Christmas. 7. Hans encourages Theo to have some Christmas cheer and believe in Christmas miracles. 8. McClane festively straps a gun to his back using Christmas tape. 9. Last song played in this film is also a Christmas song. So yippee-ki-yay, motherfuckers, this movie is a Christmas movie to me. Film number 9 is Die Hard 2, a 1990 American action thriller film and the second installment in the Die Hard film series. Directed by Rennie Harlan from a screenplay by Stephen E. D'Souza and Doug Richardson, and adapted from Walter Wage's novel 8 Minutes and characters from Roderick Thorpe's novel Nothing Lasts Forever. In it, on Christmas Eve, McClane is waiting for his wife to land at the airport when terrorists take over the air traffic control system. He must stop the terrorists before his wife's plane and several other incoming flights that are circling the airport run out of fuel and crash. While I do admit this feels far less of a Christmas movie like what the first film was, it does still take place during Christmas time, and for that reason alone, I feel it is worth watching back to back for Christmas. As I watch this, I have Kevin McAllister's words from Home Alone 2 in my head, another Christmas in the trenches, because that is kind of how this is. Another Christmas where McClane is trying to stop a bad guy and save his wife. Sequels very rarely ever live up to what the first film was, but this is one of the few times that the sequel was just as good. I get really happy and emotional when the pilots use the fire as a landing guide. I still think that part is super cool. Though I never did understand why the bad guy is doing Tai Chi naked at the start of the film. Yeah, I don't get that. And in number 10 is the Kath and Kim Code, a 2005 Australian comedy telemovie of the television series Kath and Kim, one of my all-time favorite TV series. Created and written by Jane Turner and Gina Riley and directed by Ten Emery, it sees Kath and Kel's union tested by Michael Bublé. Kim tries to get back in the dating game after Brett cheats, pal Sharon finds love online, and a stalker lurks amid Yuletide cheer. The Kath and Kim Code is the greatest Australian Christmas film ever to exist. It's not just the perfect depiction of an Australian Christmas, it also is hilarious. Unrealistic parody of the Da Vinci Code with little similarity to the source material, which adds to the hilarity, of course. I watch this movie on a loop all the time. I've watched it maybe 50 times in the last month alone. I never get tired of it. I can quote it with little effort, and that makes me happy. One of the many things I love about Kath and Kim and this telemovie is that so much of it is filmed in the area around my house. So if you're wondering where I shop, go to the movies, and what my neighborhood looks like, just watch this because then you'll know. Not a very accurate depiction of carols by candlelight, I will say that, but good on them for at least mentioning it and including it, because to many of us Australians, carols by candlelight on Christmas Eve is a must watch. And there is the first 10 movies that I have watched in my 25 days of Christmas movie marathon. I think I'm doing pretty good, all things considered, because sometimes I can't be bothered watching anything new, so I just watch the same stuff on a loop for, like, you know, the weeks leading up to Christmas, but I'm putting in some extra effort this year, so we'll see how I do. I like to go alphabetically, but there are certain films I have to watch at certain times, so, like, I'm going to be watching Home Alone, but I always watch Home Alone 1 and 2 on Christmas Eve, and I'm going to be watching A Muppet's Christmas Carol, but I always watch that on Christmas night, so I guess that video is going to be late. I don't know. We'll see how this goes, but I mean, please comment down below and tell me what kind of Christmas movies you have been watching this month. Although I know some people started last month, so just tell me what Christmas movies you've been watching. And tell me what are your traditional Christmas movies that you must watch every single year. No ifs, ands, or buts. But that is all for today's video. You can catch me in the next recap or check out some of my other videos from this month. But thank you as always to my fabulous patrons, and until next time, bye!